So, Tracy, summertime approaching. People generally have more time in their hands. Maybe they go on holidays, take a good book with them. Next year, obviously, we're focusing on Peru 100, 2027. But how can people be preparing for 2027 by reading some good material, maybe this summer, in preparation for next year?
Yeah, well, we have 3 publications that we're recommending today. So the first is a booklet called Peru 90, produced in 2017 to mark the 90th anniversary of Baptist work in Peru. It has lots of pictures in it and little summaries, a decade by decade, of the work of Irish Baptists in Peru. Won't take very long to read, and it's nice pictures inside, and so that's our first recommendation today, the Peru 90 booklet.
And anybody, Tracy, like what, 10 years old and up could read that, couldn't they?
It's very easily read.
There's probably about an hour's reading in it at max.
At the very most, yes. And you'll get to know some of the missionaries because we've pictures of them. The pictures are labelled, so you'll be able to see people that you've maybe heard of, see their picture and be able to identify them.
Yes.
And then maybe you've wondered, how did Irish Baptists ever end up having missionaries in South Peru? And this book by Andrew Reid will outline all of that. He starts in the 1920s and explains how Irish Baptists sent missionaries to South Peru, the first leaving in 1927, and how we've had work there ever since. This book just goes up to 1977, the first 50 years of the mission, and tells that story of when Baptist Missions was called the Irish Baptist Foreign Mission, you can read all about that. And that's our second recommendation. It's called By Divine Coincidence by Andrew Reid, and it's available on Amazon as well, but you might find one kicking about your church or somewhere.
Yeah, so I might encourage people, there might be people who have a copy of this on their bookshelf, to maybe, if they've read it, to maybe bring it into their church, leave it in their church foyer, or if their church has a lending library. We reckon there's lots of copies of this out there, so we'd encourage maybe some more mature people in our churches who maybe have one, who've read it, maybe to make it available to the younger people in their church and encourage people to read it over the summer. There's lots of good questions at the end of each chapter as well that kind of provoke you to thinking about mission and that are relevant and pertinent even for today. And as we say, Andrew Reid, it's a good read.
It is a good read.
And it'll give you an insight into the first phase. And of course, Tracy, that touches on the fact that 1977 was a significant year for Baptist missions, because the Irish Baptist whole mission, the Irish Baptist Foreign Mission, merged in 1977, and so next year is Peru 100, but it's also the 50th anniversary, if you like, of Baptist missions. So people reading this will prepare them well for next year in 2027 as we celebrate both those significant anniversaries.
Very significant, yes. So then our third recommendation then is the story of 2 of our missionaries who served in Peru for decades, Sam and Mary Sloan. And this book is called His Place for Me, written by Valerie Bunting and Afaf McConville. They knew Sam and Mary Sloan from their church in Ballymoney, from the Ballymoney Baptist, and they wrote Sam and Mary's story. And the title His Place for Me was how Sam felt about Yunguyu in the High Sierra, where he lived and worked with Mary for many, many years. It was God's place for him to live and to serve him and to reach out with the gospel to the Aymara people around him. So this is their story. Some pictures in this book as well, and their story of how God called them to Peru, how they served him in Peru, and how they continued to serve him when they retired from Peru to come back and live in Northern Ireland.
And of course, Yunguyu, Lourdes Brew's hometown.
Brew is from Yunguyu, yes.
So there's a connection all the way to Lourdes Brew as well. So
absolutely.
So some summer reading, Tracy, in preparation for 2027, Peru 100. We're gearing up for that. Tracy's been working behind the scenes for the last couple of years. We're recommending these 3 publications. Why not get a hold of one and read it over the summer and get yourself up to speed with what God's been doing in Peru over the last 100 years?